Okay, it just broke open this cruise control unit from a 1997 Toyota RAV4 manual transmission. Looking inside, well, first of all, this is how it sits normally. This being on top, this lever kind of pushes on a little piece that controls the throttle. The throttle can move independently of this, but when this moves, it does push the throttle cable. But underneath on the inside, I've started to disassemble it a little bit. It has this potentiometer, which is connected to this shaft, the one we just saw, via this little gear. It looks like the gear contacts some of these contacts to maybe show when it's at wide open throttle or closed throttle, at least when this unit is at wide open or closed, maybe to detect faults, not sure. But the potentiometer seems to be what kind of detects the position that it's asking for. More interestingly though, underneath this piece, if you pull this up, there's a sliding, I don't know what you call this, there's a name for it, I can't think of it, sliding electrical contact that connects to these little guys down here that's on this big gear. The gear is connected to this worm gear down here, which is connected to the motor. So that motor spins, it spins this gear, but normally that doesn't do anything, it just rotates freely, except for when these contacts are energizes these contacts, and there's a big electromagnet inside this gear. This gear is pretty tall, I don't know if you can really see. There's plenty of space in there for an electromagnet. So the electromagnet then pulls this plate from the bottom up into it, and at that point that engages another gear that's down below that's connected to this main shaft. You can kind of see the housing of it kind of goes around like that. Really quick, I did go ahead and pull this large gear out. That's the contacts you saw on the top. If you take this little copper piece off, you can see underneath there is the electromagnet kind of peeking out there. Looks like that copper piece might be to contact something underneath, but that's the gear that gets pulled upward. So you can barely see this. This does move upward, and when it does, it engages. Oh man, you really can't see it all. There's a little gear. There's some teeth of it you can sort of see right in there. But it engages that, which is connected here. If we can move this shaft from the other side, you can see that moves. And I think the reason it's got these little kind of holes around the edge, I think those made up with these little balls that are set into this gear. So it must be so that it can slip if necessary. Like for example, if there's a malfunction with the system and you step on the throttle and it doesn't, or maybe if it's moving when it engages, it can just slip into those little slots instead of grinding something to pieces. For what it's worth, there it is.